Hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and this week I'm doing some more work to my missing link Resin 71 Hornet SC 360 here. You'll last see me doing the decals on this, so let me show you how that kind of came out. Just kind of mocked it up for fun. And you can see right here that, they did do some wrinkling, but then I let them sit, and they decided to lay down flat. Hopefully you can see them. And they're looking really good, pretty much ready for some clear. Got a little bit to do. I did put that chrome one on the very bottom here. Came out pretty nice, but getting that straight, that was kind of a pain. But, both sides are done. And I was looking it over for any other emblems or stuff I might have to put on it. So this isn't quite ready for clear yet, but it could very well be. But I was just looking it over. And now I'm just kind of playing around. So put that mocked up there. And the scoop, just letting it sit there for motivation just to check it out. I kind of like how that's looking there. Can't tilt it too far back because this camera is like right on top. So put that back right here. And for now, I'm kind of working on the motor. And I'm ready to do some detail painting to some of this. And paint some miscellaneous stuff because motor's all glued together and painted in multiple layers. And I did a lot of the regular painting. So let's get started with some steel here. This is getting pretty much hard to open, which this does. Get my pliers here. It gets kind of gummed up in the sides there, and it's kind of a pain, but it happens. But that's when I'm getting towards the end of the use of this one. So let's haven't gotten as much time to work on the models lately as I want to, but I had a lot of stuff going on, having a lot of fun with different stuff in my life. So nothing major, but just been a little hard to get some time to work on some of this stuff. The dangerous part about that, though, for me, is if I'm not working on the model kits, I'm thinking about them. And, if I'm away, I'm on my phone, browsing eBay, seeing what's out there, thinking about different projects, kits I have, what I'd like to do with them, and a lot of that stuff. So sometimes I get a little distracted, and, it can lead to a little bit of a spending spree sometimes. But it's kind of funny that way. But whoops, starting to veer away from the camera. But that's the kind of stuff that kind of happens. But, and I start jotting down kits I have and start thinking about some of the, color combos I could do. What's available, what factory colors are. I was recently doing that with Corvettes. So 63 through 67 Corvettes. I got some annuals to restore, 4 or 5 of them. So, in my spare time, I was looking at pictures of them, what colors, what combos, and ones I haven't done, or what color combos I haven't done or would like to do. So I started jotting some notes down and some of the different combos there. So, I decided, I want to do a 63 in this color, which they had a really nice dark blue. Did that, or wrote that down. Looking at this, I got a 64 to redo, looking at some options on there. And there's a really nice gold color, but I believe it's called Sierra Beige or something like that, or Sierra Tan. Yeah, Sierra Tan. But it's a gold color. I'm like, that's pretty. I never really thought about one of those in gold, seen silver ones. But it's stuff like that you get kind of carried away with. There we go. Tranny's paint is steel. So we'll set this down and pick another color. I don't think I have anything else that needs to be steel. While I got the steel out, the tank's painted, the leaf springs are painted, manifolds are painted. Okay, so we'll put this one away. Move on to another color. Let's see here. I need aluminum. All right, let's see here. All right. Now this fuel pump that's right here on the side, let's get that painted. There we go. The bottom bowl part, I'm going to do that one in gold, just as a little bit of a detail there. So here we go. There. Anything else aluminum? Oh, the distributor. Let's do the... Another thing that I get carried away with sometimes as well, like those Javelin race car rebuilders, got those. I start looking at parts I need for those, decals I need for that, and start collecting parts and go on the hunt, a little bit of spending spree. So I'll probably do a little video of some of that stuff a little bit later of, you know, my excitement there and enjoyment and what I've dug up of what I have and everything, just to kind of show what I do there sometimes. I'm sure I'm not the only one who does stuff like that. Just painting some of the body on this one aluminum. Just kind of make the starter stand out a little bit more. Even though like a lot of these, they were just flat out, the whole thing was black. Sometimes, you know, part of it was aluminum or black. Not really sure on this one, but it just looks so much better when I do that. Coil, belts, let's see. Don't think I need any aluminum other than that. Nothing on the chassis I need to do aluminum. Okay. Because I kind of go back and forth to do a lot of bouncing around. So sometimes I'll, you know, do a little bit of painting and then get on another. But like right now, I'm just focusing on the motor. That's just what I feel like focusing on. Even though I got like 4 kits that the motors are pretty much in this particular status. It's like, all right, let's do those. Have a little bit of fun with those. But I'm just going to focus on one motor instead of all of them. Mainly for this video for you guys. All right, let's mix up the gold here. Let's see. All right. We're going to use this brush. Try not to touch the painted areas. All right. Two other colors I want to do on that. I don't have anything else that I want to paint gold. So let's put this back away. And then a lot of this I'm going to let sit dry, so I won't be able to glue it tonight, but I don't have a whole lot of time tonight to work on it. Truth be known, it's like 10:30 at night already. So shouldn't be doing this right now. Should already be winding down and going to bed, but don't want to do that either. Let's see. Got black and red. Let's do the red. A lot of times I just use a little bit of paint that's on the bottom here, especially when I'm just doing just a small amount. Even though this isn't the most accurate battery here. I'll just do the caps in red. Oops, a little too much paint right there. Okay, yeah, I got a little bit too much in one spot. Let's see, let's do this. Just taking some of it off with the toothpick. And then I'll hit that with some black here. I'll probably do gloss black to give it kind of a bit more of a tar top kind of thing. And then the other part I want to paint red is the oil filter, which is right here on the side. Flip it over and see more of the top here. I like to get some of that lip, and it's mainly because that's how oil filters usually made it, and then they're attached to the pipe or the extension. So, and it gives it the look I like. Sometimes not the most accurate, but that's, you know, how I like it. This isn't the most accurate AMC motor out there. It's probably the closest one I think of, other than you start getting into some 3D printed ones. I haven't seen a very nice AMC 390 or 401, but I haven't looked real hard either. So to be honest with you there, but this one being out of the SC Rambler kit, it is the one I prefer. I just really like this one, but I do know it has some of its issues when you compare it to a real AMC 390, 401, 360. So, all right, so there's the red, and I'll let that dry. I might have to go back over that one again, the oil filter. And then last here, we'll do some semi-gloss black. On the two areas of the engine that I plan to put this. That needs a little bit more shaking. I've got a steel little ball in there that you're hearing rattling around. That's what that is. Helps mix it all up. All right. Now I've got the steel on the tranny looks pretty much dry. I got two areas I'm going to do on this that are just kind of awkward, but that's the way the model kit is made. Right here, I like to do this area in black, because this is like part of the crank pulley, but it's cast into the balancer. So I'll leave the lip alone, because the balancer is usually painted engine color, but I'll do all of this right here. So that's the rest of it. And once you glue this onto it, you know, just like that, it doesn't really show. Although this is like really a flat. So while I'm thinking about it, let's do this to make this offset. Match the balancer. And give it a different look. Really make the belt stand out since this is pretty flat. We'll do this side as well. We'll let that dry and be semi. I'm going to do the water pump pulley as well. Although the fan's going to go right on top of it. But you might be able to see it, so let's do it. There's those. All right. Put it down. I'll put a little dot for the alternator. That way all three pulleys match. Now the last piece on the engine here is this cover right here. Now this is a manual tranny, and a lot of them have a cover that covers the clutch. And you can usually unbolt it to access some of the bolts to disconnect the flywheel from the engine. A lot of engines have a cover on this side, even automatic trannies, that you can pull that cover off to access the torque converter bolts or the flywheel flex plate bolts, clutch bolts. So that's kind of what this is. So that's why I didn't paint it steel. Most of them are actually black on a lot of these from the factory, the manufacturers. Some of them are just flat out raw steel even. But I like them to stand out a little bit different. So make sure I got it under the camera again. And let's rotate it around so that I can get more of it with the paintbrush and be in view for you guys. All right, and let's go across the... I like to go around it and then fill it in. But sometimes it will pick up the steel paint that you recently did, and sometimes you have to go over it, but we'll let that dry. Here we go. We'll let that dry. I didn't touch the oil filter. I don't see any fingerprints. The gold and the silver and aluminum, they all look good. So I'm real happy with that. Here's one of the things. It's got another mount for a different oil filter right there. But that's an older motor, which this block has. But the later AMCs had the oil filter on here as part of the timing cover setup. So one of the little issues with this engine, but you really don't know once you glue it all together anyway. I think that might be the side that the starter goes on. That's a starter mount. But nope, starter goes on this side. Sorry, a little late, a little tired, but kind of still enjoying this anyway. All right. I think it's time to let that sit, let it completely dry, and I can glue the engine together, get the chassis pretty much ready, and maybe a little bit of detail painting of the interior bits, which I do not have out right now. So I think I'm going to stop right there, you guys, and we'll continue on with this project. So thanks you guys for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments and support and everything. I really do appreciate it, you guys. You have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.